I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve. Shield my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't eat, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. They don't want it when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need the brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem. I ain't perfect. Let them watch me elevating. Got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the house. And woo. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Woo. Watch how I set it up, bet you I shut it down, watch how I get a win. I don't think they really wanna come against the winner, got a finger run up in on a grenade. I ain't never been there when you think you compare. I'm a line, but the winner about the cage. I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. Better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out.
Hey yo, Jay, can we get some ratchet one time?
Look, I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peace, you gon' see the flex when you hear these writtens. Trust me, you know the difference. I got a long ways to climb before you see a slippage. I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed, cause I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted and I know it ain't. You gotta take the time for seasoning to marinate. You need the patience under pressure just to detonate. I'm trying to blow up and these heathens need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision, I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro, you know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah, socks with the burst, boy, I ain't changed a bit. Normal guy till I die, you know what it is. You probably thought I'd give up now that I got some kids, but really nah, I got these arrows aiming at your ribs. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the stop, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the ribbon, we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a left hook that connects with Sonny Liston. I'm dismissing any and all of the disrespect. Nonetheless, it ain't a threat, I'm just letting y'all know who's next. I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas, you gon' see the...
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Man, Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 10 a.m. p.m. a.m. Eastern, 5:45. I don't know, guys. What is going on, Candle Mafia? Welcome into the Frankie Candles live stream at 10 a.m. As you guys know, Bitcoin is getting a little bit of a move to the upside, and there were some things we were looking at on the live stream last night where we were actually looking at some very specific signals for a potential pullback. But as you guys know, I was holding my long positions for some very specific reasons that we went over last night, expecting higher prices on Bitcoin. And here we are, sitting at about $52,000. I want to talk to you guys about those next targets to the upside. Can we even continue to pump up to these levels? And if we do, where should we be looking for those shorts? Or are we just going to come down from where we're at right now? We're also going to be taking a look at a couple of the altcoins. It's going to be mostly a Bitcoin live stream today, guys. But we are going to take a look at a few of the altcoins because some of them are moving as well, right to some levels that we've been looking at. But shout out to the Candle Mafia. What is going on, guys? Let's go ahead and shout some people out here before we jump into the price action. Shout out to Lobby or Lobby. I don't know exactly how to say that, bro, but shout out to you. Thank you for being here. He said 2 a.m. in Australia. Well, shout out to you, brother. Thank you for tuning in at the early hours of the morning. I have a feeling you make a lot of money, bro. You know, you don't care what time it is as long as Bitcoin's pumping and there's money to be had. You're in the live stream. Let's go. Shout out to Dave Digital. As always, welcome in, bro. We got Crypto Ale in the chat. Just read the instructions. What is going on, bro? Looks like Bitcoin read the instructions to that rocket ship. Shout out to 12 Big. What is going on? Said Frankie looking like me. No sleep. Yeah, hashtag team no sleep. When Bitcoin pumps, there is no sleep to be had, guys. Jedi Skirk in the chat. Harry Potter. Zeus Cash. Shane Kerr. What is going on? Says he's ready for the sauce. We got V Slim in the chat. We got Skywalker. We got Tony D holding down the chat. Shout out to all of our mods, guys. Show them some love in the chat. And with all that being said, guys, we got a lot to look at here on Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the charts. Here we go. So, guys, woo, baby. Last night, guys, we were looking at some really, really interesting stuff. And as you guys know, I was talking about my plan to hold my long positions, expecting this next move to the upside. And before we get into those next targets, which obviously you guys know, one of those big reasons I was continuing to hold that long was simply put, the fact that we had this value area high sitting just above us. And, you know, I'm actually going to pull up the Bitstamp chart as well. I'm sorry, this is the Bitstamp chart. I just put the buy bit value area on here. So let me hide that value area and pull up our regular volume profile that we've been looking at, because as you guys know, all the way back about almost a year ago, I put a video out on the channel talking about the possibility of breaking above this value area low and filling this entire range from the value area low to the POC and eventually up to the value area high. And we wound up seeing that in 2023 as we were expecting, right? Well, technically it fully played out after 2023. But we basically saw that play out almost exactly, not only to the price we were looking at, but also within the amount of time we were waiting for it to happen in. However, the reason I bring this up, you might be thinking to yourself, like, Frankie, why are you pulling up this range? This is kind of old news. But the reason I bring it up, guys, is because at this point, you would have expected to go from the value area low to the POC up to the high. And then at this point, you're probably expecting some kind of a rejection, which is what we saw. That's why we were expecting that rejection here on the macro golden pocket. Many reasons to look for that pullback. But when we pull up the buy bit chart, guys, when you're looking at crypto or any financial asset, depending on what exchange you're looking at, you're going to get slightly different levels. And that is why it's kind of hard to explain to people, but you kind of just have to keep an eye on all of these levels altogether, right? There's no, I prefer to look at the chart that I'm trading, but you have to look at all the different exchanges because all of these levels are respected in some manner, right? So although we came up to the value area high, got a rejection here, when we hide this volume profile and pull up this same exact range, and I don't want anyone getting confused, we pulled the same exact range just on, this is the Bitstamp chart, but we pulled the same exact range on the Bybit chart, and you actually get slightly different levels. And you can see as we got a rejection on the Bitstamp value area high and got that pullback in the context of this Bybit value area, this was simply not the value area high. However, it was the POC of the range, which is usually somewhere in the middle of that range, and it is basically just that midpoint like kind of pit stop that you make, that you just kind of come up and interact with before finally getting up to your higher target, which is typically going to be that value area high. So this is kind of the importance of looking at many different exchanges because, again, just like that value area high was respected, this POC on Bybit was also respected. And because of the fact that we have this Bybit value area high sitting up here, as well as when we were looking at the liquidation heat maps, let me pull it up really quickly. When we pull up the liquidation heat map, you guys will know we even looked at this last night on the live stream at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, our main show. We knew that we had this chunk of liquidations sitting here, and this chunk of liquidations was sitting or starting just at about 50,700, which coincidentally was our next key level of resistance that we were looking at because we do have a weekly level of resistance here, and I'll actually just mark this out fresh for you guys. Right here at about 50,700, at about $50,775 here on Bitstamp, it is sitting at about, let me just make sure this is correct. Let me just mark that out. But yeah, at about $50,791 here on the Bitstamp chart. That was our next major level or next significant level of resistance. And as you guys can see, we simply, and last night on the live stream, we were looking at the idea of understanding that although this is a level of resistance, we had that liquidation heat map showing us that we had all these liquidations sitting above us. And although this was the next level we were looking for a short at, we were talking about how this may actually be a little bit of a complicated short to enter because we knew that we had all that liquidity sitting above this level of resistance, and if we started peeking our head above this level of resistance, we could wind up seeing a quick push to the upside as a result of the shorts getting liquidated and stopped out, adding that buy pressure to the market, pushing price up to the next level of resistance, which, in my opinion, guys, next real key level of resistance is going to be, if we come over here to the weekly time frame, we don't really have much resistance in the way of us and this value area high. I mean, the next real level, in my opinion, is going to be that Bybit value area high. Now, sure, do we have some local levels potentially, but this is going to be that next magnetic major level of resistance that I'm looking at. And what I want you guys to understand is what we were looking at on that live stream last night that was making us anticipate this move down. I was even talking about kind of how I was a little bit sussed out that we front ran this level because of all the liquidity that was sitting above it. Because we know not only does this value area high act as a magnet, but that liquidity in the market also acts as a magnet, sucking price up towards it, which is a big reason. It was the value area high being above, acting as a magnet, the liquidity sitting above this level here at 50,791, which acts as a magnet, and as well as the fact we had some things on Market Cipher B that were making us potentially expect to move to the upside. And these are all it's multiple reasons I was willing to hold these long positions, guys. And I will just pull them up really quickly. Little Bitcoin long here, up about $4 grand, 593%. We also have our Matic long that we got into with the premium Discord the other day. This one is now absolutely slapping, up 126%. Yes, negative $141 on fees, but obviously 5,100 should be able to cover that plus some. And we are still holding our Giga long here from 26,823. So still holding this as well. Got a bunch of profits locked in on that one. So the longs are out, and I'm also still in a couple of longs on my personal accounts. But yeah, the longs are absolutely slapping right now, guys. And if there's one thing that I want you guys to take away from this live stream, it is the things that we were looking at to put that sentiment in our head that we should be holding those long positions and not just looking for the willy-nilly shorts, but waiting for the highest probability trades. And this is how you're not only able to stay out of those early shorts that wind up being bad positions and stopping you out, but not only that, but also giving you the insight to actually hold your winners and let them run. This is a big thing that, this comes with time in trading, right? It's not just about getting into your good positions, but it's also about knowing not only when to sit out of bad trades, but also when to let the winners run, because that's really when you start to see your account grow. But those are the positions. As I said, we're holding the longs. There they are. But this is basically, the next one other thing I really want to talk to you guys about is last night on the live stream. Obviously, we were last night starting to print that red dot on the daily time frame, which obviously has disappeared since then. But we were printing that red dot on the daily, and there was something very specific. We actually talked about this right before I ended the stream yesterday. There was something very specific we were looking at to anticipate a potential move down if we were going to get it based off this red dot. And it lied on the 90-minute time frame. When you get these red dots on the daily, typically you're going to go down to the 90-minute time frame, and you want to analyze the money flow on Market Cipher B. Because if you have that red dot on the daily and your 90-minute money flow crosses over into the red, that is oftentimes on that money flow crossover into the red, that is typically what marks the bigger move down. And actually at the time, if I go into bar replay mode, it was actually looking like we were potentially going to get a little bit of a bigger move down based off that red dot on the daily, which if we pull it up here, was printing at the time. And then when we came down to the 90-minute, we saw that money flow, Market Cipher, there we go. As you can see here, money flow in the 90-minute was coming to the downside, and I was saying if we are going to get the bigger move down, this was after saying I was holding my longs, right? Saying holding my longs, I don't have a significant reason to short here, but if we are going to get a bigger pullback, I will still hold my longs expecting higher prices, but we're likely just going to get a little bit bigger of a correction before that next move up. And to kind of anticipate that move down, guys, we were looking at that money flow on the 90-minute to cross over into the red, which was very likely to mark that next move down. And as you can see, that signal simply never presented itself. The money flow got never even faked out into the red. It just kind of got support on the zero line, continued up, and then we got the big move to the upside. Super, super validating when you're, because, guys, I am not impervious to the emotions either. I feel all of the emotions that come along with trading. I just have disciplined myself not to physically react off of them. But, when you see dumps like this and I'm looking to hold my long positions, I am still feeling those doubt. Like, I'm feeling that doubt. Like, I could be wrong here, right? And I hope I don't just ruin all these longs because I'm going to be wrong here. But simply put, guys, finding the liquidity, understanding that it acts as a magnet, and expecting price to go visit those levels is a very, very high probability strategy, right? And it's not that I use that to actually get into the trades, but we use that to manage the trades. So in my opinion, guys, here's the thing. The daily VWAP is still very close. Although we printed the red dot and it disappeared yesterday, we are still close to printing this red dot. So I am still going to be looking at this as our next major signal to anticipate a push to the downside. But it simply has disappeared, so we're going to have to wait for this to reprint. And then, again, I will be keeping an eye on that 90-minute money flow, because once that crosses over into the red, that is likely going to be the thing that winds up giving you that bigger correction to the downside. So, right now, still holding the longs here. I'm probably, to be honest with you, once, there are probably some intermediary levels between us and this value area high, which, by the way, is sitting at $54,467. So because of that being our next main target, I'm probably going to be waiting for price to come a little higher unless I get some kind of other reason to short. But this is still going to be that next major target. Now, this does not, just because this is a value area high, guys, and obviously we see these value areas get filled more often than they don't, it still does not guarantee that we get up here, right? You have to be open to every single situation. But as we look here, it's going to remain that next macro target. However, if we do come back down, guys, this weekly level, let me actually label this as a weekly because that's what it is. This level of resistance here that we were looking at last night, now that we have broken above this, this is now a very, very key level of support. If we're able to break, we are able to break above it, but if we're able to come back down and test this as support and get a nice bounce there, that could be where we get the next move up. But again, with that lingering red dot on the daily, I have to say, it doesn't look like we are just going to be able to just absolutely yeet up for the rest of the day here and break out of this value area, in my own personal opinion, right? I could be wrong, but, this is not necessarily, this VWAP, I would love to see this VWAP come down, give us a red dot, and then completely reset, give us a fresh green dot. Let this momentum wave kind of reset and cool off before getting that next big move up, because you have to understand, although you can make, as long, the heck? Just smacking the keyboard here, Mafia. But you can remain overbought for quite some time. However, I really would like just the fact that we are above the 60 line here and just cracking this. I would love to have that momentum wave cool off because this is typically not a sign. When you see the momentum waves overbought like this, guys, it's typically a sign of at least a local top, right? Not necessarily a big dump incoming, but it is at least a sign of some kind of cool off to come. And then you can see this momentum wave came back down, reset a little bit, and then before we got our next move up, that momentum wave was able to come back down, and then that VWAP came up, crossed over, gave you the green dot, and then you get your next move up. But right here, we're overbought. The VWAP is coming down, looking for a red dot. So we are kind of fighting some headwinds here as far as market cipher goes. So very nice that we got this pop up, but I wouldn't necessarily expect to instantly shoot up to this value area high. I think you will likely see some turbulence here. And one more time, that key level of support right now, in my opinion, is going to be that weekly horizontal, sitting at $50,791. Very important level to watch. And then, now we could kind of just keep an eye on this value area for context, right? If we really start pulling back, we know like the macro key level of support right now is going to be the Bybit POC. On top of, not only is this Bybit POC the point of control of the range, but it is also not a horizontal level, but just a structural technical level of support, as we would basically just be coming down to, retest these highs as structural support one more time, right? We came up, we flipped it to support. So, just like this is important resistance on the way up, it's going to be important support on the way down. So just kind of using the volume profiles to give me context into where the next levels are. And then if we actually go ahead and hide this Bybit value area and we pull up the more local analysis, let me go ahead and so this level right here, if we really start coming down, obviously, that Bybit POC is sitting right at this level. And last night, guys, we were looking at these key levels of support before we got this next move down, saying if we did wind up getting the bigger pullback here off of this 4-hour bearish divergence that we were printing, the next key level of support was simply going to be at about 47K. Number one, it is the value area high of that previous range we were looking at. And now, looking at the Bybit value area, you can see that POC is also at 47.3. So you have a very, very nice confluence there as well. So this is kind of a clear roadmap, in my opinion, right? As far as the levels go, as well as the targets to the upside, being that the value area high is likely to act as a magnet. So super exciting, but not getting overly bullish here because of the daily red dot. But again, this fake out on the daily that we've been waiting for here, or potentially anticipating, money flow is continuing up here on the daily. So even if we do print that red dot, this daily is, because last week we were looking at this daily and it was looking extremely, extremely bearish. But as soon as we got this fake out on money flow, that invalidated that chart. And it was indeed that daily money flow fake out that we were anticipating. And so for that reason, if we do get that red dot, guys, just for anyone who didn't see the stream last night, I'm not going to be expecting, at least necessarily at this point, not going to be expecting that bigger move down that we've been anticipating before we broke this high. As soon as we we put in the higher high here on price action, that is where that bigger move down got invalidated, in my opinion. Doesn't mean we can't come down there, but we need to see things kind of, we need to see new signals pointing to those levels, because the signals that we were looking at before are simply invalidated at this point. So shout out to the Mafia, guys. We are pumping. Things are good. I want to take a look at a couple of the altcoins, but first I want to check in on chat really quick. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to, let's see, Deathburger said, yo, we live in the AM. Shout out to Deathburger. What is going on? Yes, I am alive in the morning. I'm usually doing a ton of other stuff, but here we are, live on the Bitcoin pump. Shout out to GW Denny. I can't really see that full name, but shout out to you, bro. Said, Frankie, is it too late to enter a long? In my personal opinion, shout out to GW. Here's the thing, right? Is it too late to enter a long? That is a really good question. And in short answer, in my own personal opinion, number one, the answer to the question is simply this. In my opinion, yes, it is way too late to enter a long. For context, if you want to see, to understand, kind of where I look for my longs, right? You do not want to look for longs on a big push up like this. This is what all retail likes to do, and it oftentimes winds up leaving them completely wrecked, right? Is it too late to enter along? In my own personal opinion, based off of my strategies, my system, my risk management, absolutely, this is not where you want to be entering along. Typically, when you naturally feel like you want to enter along, when you feel like, oh my God, I should jump into a long right now, and it's just that feeling you get, it's probably the worst time to get into a long. And in my opinion, you want to get into the longs when it feels wrong, right? And this is basically what we wound up doing on the most recent long entry that we were looking at, and with the premium Discord. Now, although we took the trade in the premium Discord with all the confirmations, etc., to actually get into this trade, we were paying very, very close attention to the next key level of support. And I actually wanted to talk to you guys about this as well. And as you guys know, when we were pulling back from this POC/macro golden pocket on the approval of the Bitcoin ETFs, we were looking for the pullback, right? And that first level that we were looking at for potential long positions, we had shown this on the live stream for weeks, right? Because as we were in this boring range forever, things were very boring, and the levels of support and resistance remained exactly the same because we were just ranging sideways. But the next area that we were interested in taking longs at were simply at these two daily naked points of control. So obviously, we don't give the exact the confirmations that we look for to actually get into the trades. That's something we do more in the premium Discord, but we do show a lot of really, really good key levels, and this was the key level that we were looking at, and this is literally where I was looking to enter, or that's where I wound up getting not into these longs. That's where I wound up getting into this long. Entry at about 39,982. And here's the thing, GW. This is the reason I say this, is because as price is coming down here, everybody is super bearish. As soon as you break this level of support, everybody and their grandma is screaming for lower prices. Everybody's getting scared. And this is the time where you want to be looking for longs, right? Especially understanding the technical analysis and knowing that these two naked daily points of control are likely to act as pretty strong support. And then obviously my entry was just right up here in this area of consolidation, and then we simply look to enter the trade, have the stop loss set, and we simply look to, at first, target that POC and value area high as your next take profits, and then you can hold a portion of the trade, or if you don't take profit, hold the whole trade if you are expecting a bigger breakout, which we were. And now we are simply just zooming out from this volume profile and then looking at the more macro volume profile for the next targets, which obviously we're going to be the POC and the value area high. So in my opinion, as price is dumping, this is where you want to look for longs. As price is pumping, this is not where you want to look for longs. Rather, where you would want to be looking for shorts. So shout out to GW. I can't tell you when the best time to enter a long is, because for all anybody knows, right? And if anybody's telling you anything different, they're simply lying to you. Nobody knows exactly where price is going to go, even though I think it's unlikely to just go up in a straight line from here because of the daily on Market Cipher B. You could still do that, right? Anything can happen. But in my opinion, this is not where you want to enter longs. This is what you are feeling is FOMO, right? But again, I could be wrong, right? You could look back in hindsight and be like, oh man, if I entered along here, we just pumped to 61K. I could have entered along here and I would have made money. So I can't really tell you where to get in and out of your trades. But in my opinion, in my experience, this is definitely not, this is where you would want to be looking for shorts, not longs. And this is what most people, will get wrong when they start trading. They look to get into the longs as price is pumping, rather than when price is dumping. Time and time again, we'll get some people in here and they'll be like, why is this guy looking for shorts? We're pumping. And it's it's because that's what you have to do, right? And the reason they probably think it's weird for us to be looking for shorts as price pumps is because they're used to just feeling that FOMO and trying to get into the trade. So this is how I trade, so can't tell you when to get in, but in my opinion, I would not be looking to enter longs here. I would wait for, even if we are going to continue up to higher prices, right, I would rather wait for a bigger pullback to come test one of these key levels of support. And then on the retracement, right, as the candles are red or purple coming down, that's where you want to look for the long entry, because chances are you'll enter at the top and then you'll get a retracement and then you just bought the top of the candle. So GW, I hope that helps you out, bro. Let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. And that's the thing too. Shout out to Shemtrice says I entered along at on the $49,000 retracement, but I'm experienced. Yeah, and it all has to do with experience, right? If you're new, you're not gonna, I mean, most new people will FOMO in. Like for me, if I thought price was going to rip on a breakout, like I would look for, I don't really trade breakouts because I think it's really risky, right? Because most of the time when you break out of a range, like you are going to get sucked back in and come down lower. Break down below the range, you get sucked back up, come higher. And people usually get chopped up like that. That's how people lose money trading. But, if you're experienced and you're analyzing volume on the breakout, right? If price is breaking above here and you know how to analyze the volume to see if there's significant buying interest or if it's just going to be a fake out, then you could trade the breakouts and be a little bit more risky. But that comes with experience. So if you're not a super experienced trader, I would definitely, just as a general rule of thumb, I like to look for shorts on the pumps and longs on the dumps, right? And don't get it twisted. If you tell anybody you're doing that, they're going to try to make you feel like an idiot. But just that is how it works. So shout out to you, but shout out to Shemtrice. Nice trade, brother. Nice trade from 49K, bro. Congratulations. I'm sure you are nicely in profit. Let's see. Bada boom. Let's see. I'm on a short for ETH. Shout out to Illegal. Hey, shout out to Illegal. What is going on, bro? Thank you for being here. Shout out to Lowly. What is going on? We got Anna Maria in the chat. Mark Dutch. What is going on? But guys, real quick, that's what we're looking at on Bitcoin. So again, I wouldn't be looking for a long until we got a retracement. Key level of support going to be the Bybit POC. And actually, if we pull some fibs here, I want to see if we can get any kind of confluence. Not quite yet. I will say this. You will have a nice golden pocket. If we do come up to this value area high, guys, roughly, you will have some nice confluence on this POC golden pocket 786 retracement, because your golden pocket would at that point be in confluence with your POC, and then your 786 would be in confluence with this previous value area high, which could be for some nice support. But in order for that to happen, we have to get a push up to the value area high, because right now you have slight confluence here. It's not the prettiest in my opinion, but if you take a look here, we could highlight that, between these levels right here, let me turn this blue for support, between about 47.2 and 45.7, this is going to be kind of the next major level of support I'd be looking at for a bounce. But again, my longs are from down here as well as right here on this retest at 28.3. I believe. I don't want to give the wrong entries here. I don't want to say I'm in lower than I am. I say 28.3. Oh, no, I'm in lower than I said. 26.8, right? So that is the lower trade there. So 26.3. It was on this retrace, I guess, is where we got in. But there you go, guys. That is what I'm looking at. Now, as far as speaking of short setups, guys, again, the next key level of resistance that I am willing to take a short at if we approach it is going to be that Bybit value area high. So if we did come up there, I would be looking for something, because as you zoom out here, guys, you want to remember, this is simply just a volume profile. So if we did come up to that value area high, naturally, based off the volume profiles, this is where you want to be looking for the shorts, right? As you deviate above the area of balance. This is the fair price for Bitcoin, quote unquote, over the past year or so. So when you get above that area of value, this would be considered a little bit overbought. But you have to assess the situation, because to be honest, although you would be looking for shorts here, and again, this is going to be the next short setup I'm looking for. Again, I'm not going to give the confirmations or exactly what I'm looking at. Wouldn't be fair to the people in the premium, but this is definitely the next key level, guys. But it's going to be tricky, just like this weekly level or this Bybit POC. Or I'm sorry, let me pull up the actual weekly level here. This weekly level here at 50,791. This is going to be just like we knew we had the liquidity sitting above this level, which would likely cause a bigger push to the upside, which is exactly what happened, right? Last night we were talking about if we crack this level, you got to be careful because this was where we were looking for shorts as well. But as we approached, there was no setup because when we popped our head above this level, we stopped out a bunch of shorts, adding that buy pressure to the market. It's exactly what we were looking at on yesterday's live stream right before we ended. And it's exactly what we saw. But if we came up here and it was a different scenario and we didn't get those liquidations and we got bearish confirmations, I would have looked to take a short. But we didn't get the confirmations. And just like we didn't get the confirmations to go short on all the other levels of resistance we were looking at, we were looking for potential shorts at this value area high. We didn't get the confirmations, so we don't take the trade. We sit on our hands, and we let the longs continue to pay us. And then also, we had a couple other levels of resistance we were looking at, more specifically at 45 to 46K. Didn't get the confirmations. We simply did not take the trade. We hold the longs to let them continue to pay us. Price comes up, we get paid on the longs, and we sit out of those bad early shorts, right? Staying out of the bad positions is just as important as getting into the good positions, right? And then, again, we came up to this level, no confirmation for a short. We thought the liquidations would be likely. We get the push to the upside. And very similarly, guys, if we come up to this value area high, we have to be very careful because two things are going to happen, right? It's either going to be major resistance, right? And if we come up here, you would just look for the short if you get the confirmations. It could be a beautiful area to look for a short setup to get a bigger pull to the downside. However, if you start getting on top of this value area high, guys, and you flip this to support, we are getting dangerously close, not only to the previous all-time high, but to be honest, that previous all-time high is going to be one of the only levels standing between us and price discovery and a potential new Bitcoin all-time high above $69,000. And I know that has never happened before a halving, right? We pulled up the cycle chart, guys, yesterday on the live stream, and you guys can see, right? We have never broken the all-time high before a halving, right? This is our all-time high here in 2013, and then the halving is right here. We didn't break the all-time high, right? This is your all-time high. We didn't break that level, right, until essentially we were after the halving. The halving's right here. We had the halving, right, and then we break the all-time high. Similarly, in 2017, we have our all-time here at $20,000. I actually have this labeled on the chart. At about 20K, we have that all-time high. Price rallies up to its macro golden pocket, just like we did recently on the Bitcoin ETF. We had a retracement into that same exact macro golden pocket when pulled from the all-time high to the all-time low. And what happened, right? We kind of just went sideways. We had the black swan event of 2020, right? And then we had the halving come in, and then we finally broke the all-time high here in November, right? So we've never seen an all-time previous all-time high get cracked before a halving takes place. And guys, look how close we are to this halving. So, historically, we wouldn't expect to break that all-time high just yet, right? But you have to understand, the big money is arriving. The spot Bitcoin ETFs are approved, right? This time, I'm not saying this time will be different, but I'm saying if there is any time in the history of crypto or the history of Bitcoin for one of these cycles to change, this is more likely than not going to be that cycle, right? Again, I'm not saying this time's different, this time's different. What I'm saying is we're going to stick to the 4-year cycle until it breaks, and just because of the spot Bitcoin ETF and the fact that every single time another cycle goes by, it becomes more likely that that cycle is going to change. As the market cap goes up, as the institutional money comes in, as those ETFs start to fill up and the normal people start to get exposure to Bitcoin, this is what is going to change the behavior of this asset class, in my opinion. And the question is, are we going to crack the all-time high before the halving? I don't know, right? Nobody does. Historically, history would say no, but again, you can't just, history doesn't repeat itself 100%, right? Sometimes it rhymes, and then eventually the past history will just eventually just completely break. So that's kind of, we are just seeing something super, super exciting here, guys. And if we do wind up getting a push up to that value area high on Bybit, let me pull it back up. We got to be careful because if you flip this to support, guys, that all-time high at 69K. You have a couple of levels in here. There's really not much. I actually don't even know if you have, you have a monthly level sitting here at 61,359. Once you break that, the only thing in your way is that actual all-time high at 69K. And then once you break that, you could potentially go into price discovery, where you would literally have to pull up imaginary levels of support and resistance, or imaginary levels of resistance, I should say, using Fibonacci extension levels or something like spider lines, which just for fun here, guys, the next closest spider line that we are approaching is also sitting at about $53,000, which is eerily close to that 54.4 Bybit value area high. And then if I turn on the logarithmic scale, we have a logarithmic spider line getting closer to about 58K. So that would be another level to look at as well. But other than that, guys, things are very interesting, and that value area high is going to be that last level of resistance I'd be looking at. And then if we start flipping that to support, guys, things could get interesting. And, if we flip that value area high and things look bullish and we're not getting bearish confirmations to look for a short, that is going to be a situation where things could get crazy. And just for fun, guys, another thing that was also making me look to hold my longs a little bit longer was the fresh weekly green dot. This is a little bit more simple, but definitely very, very reliable, right? We have this high time frame green dot on market cipher B with money flow coming up. This is a signal that, you could continue to the upside. So just another signal in the macro that was letting us know, like, hey, it's not very often that you print a fresh green dot on the weekly and then you just mega nuke, right? Typically you will see at least some kind of upside. But shout out to the 600 people tuned in right now, guys. Smash those like buttons. If we get 550 likes on tonight's live stream, which I think we should have enough people in here for, we will be giving away 5 Frankie Candles hats on Friday's giveaway. So smash up that like button. But let's see. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Bitcoin should hit 180K this bull run. Shout out to Gary. I'm looking between about 150 and 200K. Gonna be really, really hard, right? I'm a level trader. And, once we get to, we have our big macro targets to the upside. And then as we hit them, I will simply be assessing the price action as we interact with these levels to see if we are going to get a bigger move to the upside, right? I don't want the Mafia getting too caught up in the price predictions on Bitcoin, guys. It's very speculative, right? You have to worry about black swan events. You have to worry about, you could have some crazy bullish black swan events, right? People call those white swans. That's not a black. The reason a black swan is a black swan is because it's rare. You don't oftentimes see a black swan, right? So a positive black swan would still be a black swan, just a positive one, right? A white swan would just be common. But if we get a positive black swan, and just remember, guys, all of the influencers, everybody was looking for 100K last cycle based off of, I don't even know what, right? Like, what were these people actually basing their 100K prediction on? I have no idea. We like to base things off of, data-backed information, right? Data-backed predictions here using actual technical analysis. Now, just because there's TA behind it doesn't mean it's going to get hit either. But, when you look at the top here on, at 69K, guys, there were many, many reasons to be getting bearish at this point. Not only from a timing cycle perspective, were we coming up, and not only from a timing perspective did we have enough time for a full bull market to kind of finish playing out here, but we also had a weekly bearish divergence, a pretty nasty weekly bearish divergence, like a very, very clear bearish signal here, right? Higher highs on your price action, lower highs on your momentum waves. On top of that, you had your money flow coming out as well. And then, to add insult to injury, if you don't want to look at the divergences or anything, and you're just looking at indicators, Market Cipher B gave you this blood diamond on the weekly, which we had never gotten in the past, which signified or signaled that bigger drop to the downside incoming. And, I talk about this all the time. I brought this up on the live stream, and I got absolutely destroyed for saying that this was going to be the beginning of the bear market, and I was leaning way more bearish than bullish, because at this point, everybody and their grandma was calling for a super cycle. The 100K has to get hit because I don't know what they were looking at, right? They're just like, I just feel like it could hit 100K because, it's more popular now, and I'm just like, I don't feel like that's a sound way to look at price action. There's a huge bearish divergence. Like, the technicals were screaming go down, but everyone thought 30K was the bottom and we were going to get that super cycle. Not everybody, but a lot of people did think that. But And you can just see, like, people do not like when you say it's going to go down, right? I got destroyed for bringing up this blood diamond. But thank God we trust the TA because it wound up giving us a gigantic move down. So I will be assessing the situation. If we get to 100K or 120K, right, and we start seeing macro bearish signals like this, we have to take them into account. It all depends on what's going to happen. It's not as easy as just, like, picking I think it's going to hit 175 based off, like, the bullish news I would expect, and then just cross your fingers and hope for that number. That's how everybody got wrecked last cycle. Everyone was waiting for 100K without actually understanding what was going on the chart. So just be very careful. But my estimations based off the charts would be between about 150 and 200K. But if we hit 90K and it looks super bearish, I'm ready to flip bearish at that minute, right? But that's just me. I'm a trader, right? But let's see. Shout out to 12 Big. Thank you so much for that super chat, brother. Said, can you pull some levels on STX? It still keeps giving me free money. Shout out to 12 Big. I mean, hey, don't look for a reason to stop the free money, brother. But yeah, let's go ahead. I want to jump into Ethereum really, really quickly here, guys, because Ethereum is also doing some very interesting stuff as we crack $2,700, guys. And actually, let me pull up the Ethereum chart here on the live stream template. Bada boom, bada bing, guys. What is going on Ethereum? Simply put, it's just doing what we told it to, Mafia. Who's controlling Ethereum? Who in the Mafia is the Ethereum whale and just sending Ethereum where we say it's going to go? Because I know we can't just be right this many times in a row. At least on Ethereum. We're wrong sometimes here, guys. But for some reason, Ethereum just listens to us. We say this all the time. I may start exclusively trading Ethereum. But as you guys know, very similar to a lot of the other setups we've been looking at with the value areas, we simply were banging our head on this value area low. We peaked our head above. We looked for the correction back down into our lower range, which would have been a beautiful place to be looking for a long entry. And shout out to GW. This just kind of goes back to the question you were asking. A lot of people, and this is why you would not want to enter a long. This is why I would not want to enter a long where Bitcoin is right now, because think about the people who were looking at Ethereum breaking above this key level of resistance, getting super, super bullish, right? Saying, oh my God, we're breaking key resistance. This could bring us to our next target, right? And all these people would have FOMO longed here, and they would have absolutely gotten destroyed. And this is why you don't want to FOMO or enter longs in on big moves up, even though it seems like the better time to enter a long. But what you want to do is wait for that correction where everyone's getting super bearish. Oh my God, the Ethereum ETF got delayed. It's going to zero. But no, this is where you want to look for the longs. And now we have re-attempted to break above that value area low. We have succeeded, gotten above the level. And last night we were talking about as long as we have remained above this key level at 25.56, we can expect our next targets to get hit. Next target was this wick right here, sitting at 27.17. Here we are, smashed right through that target this morning. And then simply put, guys, zooming out, I'm not saying we're going to get here today or tomorrow or even next week, but in the grand scheme of things, looking at the macro volume profiles, guys, remaining above that 25.56 level, we are likely going to begin our journey up to this POC at 30,000. 30,000. There is at 30,000, guys. We would likely continue our journey up here to that point of control at $3,100. Value area high sitting at 31.83. So simply put, on Market Cipher B, looking very similar to Bitcoin. Red dot is likely incoming very soon. Overbought on the daily, so I wouldn't be surprised if you get a little bit of chop here. Maybe you come back down to the value area low. But for the most part, sentiment remains exactly the same on Ethereum. As long as you remain above that 25.56 level, we could eventually see those higher targets get hit. Now, pulling up the weekly time frame for Ethereum, you guys can see if Market Cipher B will load, there you go. Fresh green dot just starting to print on Ethereum. And if you guys saw my Ethereum update, shout out to Tony D. If you could drop that link to the Ethereum video, I would greatly appreciate you, brother. It talks about all the targets we're looking at on Ethereum and why I'm actually pretty bullish on Ethereum moving forward, not only from a fundamental perspective, ETF perspective, but also from a chart perspective. But this fresh green dot, guys, on Ethereum on the weekly could be signaling more upside, right? Just like on Bitcoin, we looked at that green dot. It did confirm, and while it was printing, we were saying, hey, if this confirms, we're likely going to see more upside. On Ethereum, we can look for the exact same thing. Green dot printing. Once it confirms, you could expect more upside. But that's what we're looking at on Ethereum. Basically, just following along with our roadmap. All right, let's go ahead and bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Golden Child, said I'm short from 46K on BTC. Is that bad? Lol. Thank you for sharing the knowledge, Frankie. Appreciate you, brother. And shout out to Eli or Ellie. I don't know exactly the name. They were saying, hey, man, I'm in profit today just because of what I learned from you. These are the chats and the messages that I love to see, guys. This is what keeps me coming up here on these live streams. This is what keeps us recording the videos and keeping the sauce coming, is seeing you guys' success, seeing your guys' success in your trading, and not even if you're successful in your trading, but just your growth as traders. Like, even if you're getting stopped out, but you used to be getting wrecked and wrecking your accounts and getting liquidated, but now you're just getting wrecked less because you're slowly learning from us. This is what we want. It's never financial advice. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. But just seeing you guys grow as traders is really what lights me on fire. So shout out to the Mafia out there. I know a lot of you guys are probably in profit. Shout out to Blue Punk Rocker, said, you rock, Frankie. I'm just glad to see you here in this community. Bullish AF. Shout out to Blue Punk Rocker. He said glad to be here in this community, not glad to see me in the community. It's like I just joined the Mafia, guys. Let's see. Shout out to Tyler. I just called Tony Tyler. Shout out to Tony D. Says rain memberships for the morning crew. Guys, drop candles in the chat if you guys want memberships, and maybe we'll drop a bunch of memberships on you guys. Let's see, Tony, if we get enough candles in chat. I mean, I don't know. Drop 100. Drop 100 on these people. Let's go. Drop them on the Mafia, baby. But let's see. We'll see how many candles emojis we can get in the chat, and then we'll just drop a bunch of memberships on you guys. And then when you get the membership, you could drop those custom emojis. Let's get it. Shout out to Crypto Chronic. What is going on, bro? Thank you for the super chat. Said, looking forward to the future bull run with Coach Frankie C. Mahalos for the sauce. Shout out to Crypto Chronic, bro. Thank you so much for that super chat. I appreciate the kind words, and I am super pumped to be jumping into this bull run with you guys as well. It's going to be absolutely insane. Oh, God. Oh, my God. Look at the candles in the chat. Tony D, dump the memberships on these people. Dump 50 on them. Dump 50 on them for now, and then we'll space them out in case new people come in, they can get new memberships. There we go. Shout out to Frankie Candles for gifting those memberships. Let's get it. Oh, my God. Look at the candles, baby. Let's go. Bing bong. Shout out to the Mafia. Let's go. Everybody gets a membership. Where's Crypto Billy? We need Crypto Billy in here. You get one. You get one. Let's go. But guys, let's go ahead and jump in. Yo, hashtag candle. Shout out to Jordy. What is going on, bro? Good to see you. We got Connor Anderson in the chat. What is going on? Let's get it. But guys, real quick, let's go ahead and jump into some of these other altcoins. I want to check out STX for our boy. Was it 12 Big that wanted to see STX? I forget who it was. But let's go ahead and jump on into it. Not the sticks. Look at the chat going ballistic. Let's go. Unbelievable. Oh, it's okay, Jordy. Jordy, you had gifts turned off. Turn them on. Tony D, give Jordy like 5 minutes to turn his gifts on, and they'll dump them on him again. Shout out to Johnny. Johnny, if you're in the chat too, hopefully you get one. We were trying to get Johnny a membership last night, but he couldn't get the settings changed. Too funny. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at STX, guys, really, really quick. Not sticks, not T, STX. Take a look at the Coinbase chart. Yeah, so this thing is absolutely flying to the upside. Yes, shout out to Martin. We could take a look at Chainlink, no problem, brother. Let's see. Let's see, bada boom, bada bing. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Let's go. He said, "Oh, you missed Anna Maria's super chat, Frankie." Shout out to Mark Dutch. Yeah, let me jump into these super chats really quickly, guys. Shout out to Anna Maria. Said, "Can you look at Pyth if you have time?" Anna Maria, I definitely can. I don't have a post-it, so I'm gonna draw it on this Benji here. Pyth, yeah, we can take a look at Pyth. No problemo. All right, and shout out to Anna Maria. 12 Big said, "Can you pull some levels on STX?" It was 12 Big looking for STX. And then shout out to Mark Dutch, bro. Thank you for pointing out that in this super chat. And then Tony D said, "Should we rain super chats?" The answer to that is yes, Tony. Let's get it. And then hopefully everyone trying to change their settings right now can get them done. Look at the candles in the chat. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Best stream on YouTube. Shout out to shout outs. Let's go. Shout out to Deli Crypto or Deli Crypto, I think, or Glee Crypto, I think is what it should say. But here on STX, guys, let's talk about it real quick. Let me pull up, just make sure we have a significant amount of price history here. I think Coinbase is probably going to, or Binance is our best bet probably. There we go. Okay, so taking a look at stacks, guys. Here we are. And, I mean, what is happening here, guys? What is happening? We simply have are starting. I would be careful here, 12. Now, not financial advice. We could just keep ripping from here. But just looking at these levels, I would start to be a bit careful here, brother. Just for the simple fact. There we go. Just for the simple fact of this value area. And this is actually a little bit of a wonked out value area. I don't know why this is so shifted down. But here's the thing. Shout out to 12 Big. Let's take a look at this, right? So this is kind of your context on stacks, in my opinion, right? Go ahead and grab the key levels. You have your value area high. You have your POC. You have your value area low. And what happened here? I mean, a beautiful value area journey. And this is why we use these tools, guys, because simply put, they are reliable, right? We don't just look at them because we think they're going to be strong. We look at them because these are volume-based levels. These are not levels that we are finding on the chart and just drawing our line, right? These are actual levels that are calculated based off the traded volume at a certain price, right? This is why they're so respected. And this is why we're able to use this tool to tweak our crystal ball to be one of the most high-performing crystal balls in the world when it comes to crypto. So, as you see, you got to move above your value area low, right to the POC, little rejection, right above the POC, flip it to support, rejection right from the value area high, and then you bounce right from the POC, and we are currently starting to break out of this value area 12 big. So, here's the thing. If I were in a long, I don't know exactly. Shout out to Junior. Thank you for that 199, bro. I appreciate you so much. But 12, if we take a look here, did you say your entry? Let me see, 12 big. Nope, just says it keeps giving him free money. So I don't know where your entry is here, 12 big, but if I were long on my typical strategy, which would be long from the bottom of the value area, looking for this thing to move to the top of the value area, this would be kind of the full trading plan for me. So I would have probably already taken partial profits at the POC, and then I would have taken another take profit here at the value area high. And at this point, as we break out of this value area, it doesn't mean that you can't enjoy any extra gains to come, but you just want to protect yourself from potential downside. So as you push up here, at this point, I don't know why ExoCharts is just like flashing up here. I actually want to bring this up in a second as well. But as we take a look here, if I were trading this, right, at this point, my stop loss is either already at break even or likely in a situation like this, my stop loss is probably in profit. So I've already locked in my profit, right? So even if I get stopped out, I'm just making money. It's a guaranteed winning trade. And then if this thing decides to just run up and go on a ballistic run to the upside, you could continue to capitalize. But if you wind up faking out of the value area high, right, and you get some bearish confirmations and you come back into the range and dump down, you are protected and you can still make money. So that I would just be careful because you're at a key level of resistance. Let me go ahead and pull this macro golden pocket, see where that 786 is sitting. Shout out to Tony D, some of the best IT support you could possibly get, guys. I can vouch for that. But Tony D, if you could see on the screen here, I don't know if it's coming through on stream, but it's just like flickering right there. It just flickers and shows the screen behind. I don't know why that happens. It doesn't affect my performance here at all, but it is just a little bit weird. But anyway, so as you can see here, 12 big, yeah, right at the value area high. You have nice confluence here on your golden pocket. We've already broken through it, right? So my key levels of resistance here, if I were in that trade, would have already been value area high golden pocket as well as the 786 sitting right here, which we are getting dangerously close to. So if you do continue up, next key level of resistance is going to be $2.60. Definitely a level you want to keep an eye on because if you do deviate above this range, that is where you're probably going to be looking for a short confirmation to get back into the range and come down. And then the invalidation for that, in my opinion, would be flipping that 786. This is probably where you're going to get a bigger move to the upside. You also have a fresh green dot on the weekly, could be pointing to some more upside. And if you break that 786 and the short opportunity above the value area is invalidated, the only thing left in your way is going to be this wick right here at $3.25, which is your previous all-time high. And then once you break that, straight up, headed into price discovery. And I mean, maybe we could just give you a little bit of maybe I could give you a little bit of potentially the next stop, if you do break that 786, could be seeing about a $4.52 STX if you do wind up breaking out there. So just be careful, 12. You are approaching significant resistance. You're breaking out of resistance, but you do have some other levels above you, so just be careful. And then, shout out to 12 big. $2 entry. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's basically a breakout trade. So at that point, I guess you are basically up. Let's see, about a $2 entry, give or take a couple cents. I mean, you're up 30%, brother, give or take. And that's without leverage, right? So if you're using leverage, you're probably up pretty decent here. So if I were trading this breakout, which again, I don't typically trade breakouts. I trade the value areas most of the time. But shout out to you, bro. Props. This is a great trade. You're in profit. But if I were looking at this, I would be very careful because we've broken resistance and you're already up 30%. The next target for me would be that 786. No guarantees you get up there. And let me see if you have any signs of weakness here on the lower time frames. Somewhat of a fresh green dot here on the 4-hour. 5-hour green dot just confirmed as well. 6-hour green dot confirmed a few hours ago. 8 hours kind of meandering around your 2-hour. Let's see. Yeah, I'll be honest. The indicators are slightly murky here. Slightly murky indicators. No clear signals to come down. So what I would do is shift my focus to these key levels. So if you continue up, which no promises 12 big, you got to remember that. When you're in the green, you got to pay yourself, because if you don't pay yourself, you will quickly be from in the green, back into the red, and then you will be just slapping yourself thinking, I should have taken the money when it was on the table. Trust me, I've been there a million times. So yeah, pay yourself if you got the money. But if you get up to that 786, that's kind of where I would be looking at that as that's a pretty nice trade, right? 30%. Like, you gotta get paid off of what you're given, right? The market doesn't always give you what you want. You got to take what the market gives you. And listen, this is very important for everybody. You do not want to build the habit of feeling bad about missing extra gains, right? This is one of the most detrimental things that you could do as a trader, is get mad about missed gains. So 12, if you got profit here, right? Let's say you took profit here on this, you got in on the retest, right? And, let's say you're in nice profits here. You're going to be much more mad, in my opinion. Tell me if I'm wrong. You're going to be much more mad if this thing comes back down and comes into the red and then you close in the red than if you took your profit here and then price continued to run. If you did that and price, as soon as you took profit, price ripped higher, you have to see that as a huge win, right? Don't worry about the extra gains. There is always another move to be taken. You have to consider the profits you get out of this market. You have to consider yourself lucky with what it gives you. So keep that in mind. Small wins over time are going to beat random speculative gambles that you're just trying to hold on forever. I'm not saying you're trying to do that, 12. I'm just saying if you are, it's just very common with people who are getting into trading, because I did it too, like crazy. It was one of the biggest things I had to get over. I felt horrible when I missed the move, right? And what did this do? It caused me to hold all my trades without a stop loss, without managing the risk, without taking partial profits. I would just gamble. I would get in, no stop loss, high leverage, and if I was in the red, I would just sit on my hands and wait for it to go back in the green, and I would get liquidated, and I would wreck account after account after account after account. The reason, not only that I'm so passionate about teaching you guys, but I think the reason why a lot of people are able to relate to me, or I think one of the big reasons why I think people are able to learn from me so well, is because I have genuinely gone through this process already. So I know exactly what everybody's going through when they're not profitable, or getting stopped out all the time, or getting liquidated. I've gone through it, right? And it's very common. And hopefully I can show you guys that there's light at the end of the tunnel. I got wrecked for a long time. I can't tell you I could not count how many Femex accounts I've blown up, how many buy bet accounts I've blown up, right? In the beginning of my trading career, account after account, right? But it takes a long time to get good at this, right? And you have to take it seriously. So shout out to 12 Big. Nice trade, bro. Just make sure you pay yourself when you're cash in 50% so far, 22K off 4K. Let's go, 12 Big. We're throwing the money for you. Shout out to 12 Big. Bing bong. Let's go. Shout out to you, bro. Absolutely crushing the trades. Let's get it. Congratulations, bro. Pat yourself on the back, bro. You are making money doing something that a lot of people wish they could do, and a lot of people are trying to do. It's a very difficult thing, so feel really good. Shout out to Martin Crypto, says chain link, and I say, let's take a look at it. Take a look at Link, guys. Another coin that we put a video up on, anticipating potential higher targets to get hit. Shout out to Tony D. Yes, is he here? There he is. I was looking for you, Anon. Shout out to Crypto Anon. He said, that's straight alpha. Pay attention. Shout out to Crypto Anon. And I know his name is Kryptonon for anybody new here, but we just call him Crypto Anon because I've messed his name up since the beginning, and we're just keeping it. Shout out to Crypto Anon, bro. Happy birthday. How did I not know it was your birthday, bro? You and Rob the Crypto Snob had birthdays, but shout out to Crypto Anon, bro. Happy birthday. I hope you had the best day ever. Guys, drop some birthday cakes guys in the chat for Crypto Anon, bro. Happy birthday, bro. I'm so mad I did not know that. I wish I was able to text you on the day. I was a day late, but shout out to you, bro. I hope you had the best day ever. I hope you were able to spend some time with the fam, and I hope you had a blast, bro. Happy birthday. We love you, and the Mafia, you were such a giant part of this family, bro, and we would not be the same without you. So shout out to you guys. Show some love to Anon. I hope to see you soon, brother. And hey, you don't look a day over 18, brother. Shout out to you. But guys, checking out Chainlink. Checking out Chainlink here, looking for potential continuation to the upside. Obviously, we were looking at this as a volume profile, and we were looking for a potential flip of this value area low to support, and then look for the bigger move up to our next targets, which, guys, simply put, we've been checking in on Chainlink. We were even looking at Chainlink as we were putting in this bearish divergence. And I don't say this because we're right all the time, or I think we're the best, I'm the best analyst or best trader. Simply put, we're chart nerds. We like to look at the charts. So when we were looking at this, we were saying, hey, you got some bearish divergences here on the daily. At a key level of resistance, I would look for a pullback. We knew we had this range below, right? We had this volume profile below. And we knew, hey, if you get a pullback, we could look for that move back into the range, and we can use this as context to identify potential good entries into a long position, because we knew, which would be at the bottom of the range here, obviously, because we knew that if we did come down here and we were able to find support on these lower levels, we could eventually break out. And we knew that we were tapping on this value area low, meaning this macro value area low from the bull market range. And we knew if we were able to break above that level, it would likely open up the door to higher prices. That's why we label these levels doors to higher prices, right? And what happens? You break above it, you flip. I mean, a lot of these levels were respected, right? If we zoom into a lower time frame, we shoot up to our first level this weekly. We get a rejection. We pop back up, come to our next key level of resistance. We get the rejection, right? Almost all these levels were beautifully respected, but this is all noise, right? Really what we're looking at is a break above the value area low to potentially start our journey, which we know is going to be messy and confusing, as you can see right here. But we're looking to just essentially start this journey into the rest of this volume profile, and the next target, guys, remains up here at the naked point of control at 2231. This is the next target to the upside. Not only is this naked point of control going to act as a magnet for price, sucking price up, but we also know that even if that naked point of control was not here, we have the point of control of the actual range, which is sitting up here closer to about $27. We also have a weekly naked point of control sitting just below that. So, with that being said, we know, just based off the volume profiles, we're expecting a journey up to these higher prices, but we know we have this naked point of control in between, right? We're not just going to expect to go from the low to the POC right to the high. Price action's messy, even if we came down further, right? But eventually you're expecting these levels to get hit. And in my opinion, the next low, the closest next level of support, let me get rid of some of these drawings. The next closest level of support, resistance is going to be, or next target, in my opinion, is the MPOC at 2231. Let's see if we can get there. Now, we do have some potential signals for a cool-off. Daily bearish divergence. Another daily bearish divergence is technically printing right now. You have the red dot on the daily. Taking a look at the 90-minute. Yeah, 90-minute money flow also starting to come out here a little bit. So until we wind up cracking this previous high on our money flow, I would expect this to trend down. And then once that money flow crosses over into the red, if it happens at the same time as this red dot printing, this could be a significant thing to look at for a push to the downside. All right, let's see. Shout out to Rory the Games guy. Thank you for being here, bro. I appreciate you. He says, is ADA or XRP a better investment for this cycle? Thank you, Frankie Candles. Shout out to Rory. Thank you for being here, bro. I do appreciate you for tuning in. And it's kind of a hard question to answer, but I will give you a I will give you kind of my input. XRP, I'll just tell you what I'm doing, right? Because this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some crazy guy screaming on YouTube. But if we take a look at XRP, which I guess will be the next coin we take a look at, but I've talked about this many times in the past. I am not buying XRP anymore. Frankie, you're bearish on XRP? I thought you were in the XRP army. I am. I'm not bearish on XRP. When I say I'm not buying it anymore, there's context, right? And I want you guys to, yeah, of course, Rory, I got you, brother. But I want you guys to start thinking like this, because there is no, and I don't, Rory, I'm not saying you think this or anything, but a lot of times when people ask questions like this, I just want to be very, very frank with you guys, right? I want to be honest with you guys. no matter what or who you ask, nobody is going to be able to give you a legitimate answer to that question. When it's, is this a better investment than this? As long as you understand that you're going to get someone's opinion, then that is totally fine to ask the question. But I want to make sure everyone understands that even if I were telling you XRP is the best investment, this is going to outperform everything in 2025, there is nothing that says that that's going to happen, right? That is just what I think. So with that out of the way, I will tell you what I think. I am not buying XRP. I haven't bought it in a while. And there's a reason for that, right? It's not because I'm bearish. It's not because I don't think it'll pump. It's because I already have a ton of it, right? I hold a lot of my XRP from before the lawsuit. So, and with the fact that this thing has not moved, it has not gotten any significant news, and here's really what worries me on XRP. And I don't want to spread FUD on XRP. I'm not bearish on XRP. I'm not selling my XRP, right? I'm holding it. I think XRP will pump in the bull run. I think it will perform well. And to be honest, it is a little bit more risky, but that comes with higher reward. If things go XRP or Ripple's way and XRP winds up getting that big pump, you know, it could wind up paying off big time. But I will say this. I'm not one of those people that think XRP is going to 10K. I don't think it's going to 30K. You know, that's impossible in my opinion. But I'll just give you my targets for the XRP in 2025 is closer to like $3 to $5 on the realistic end, and then like on the super. I have a video on XRP. You could check it out on the channel. I talk about exactly what I would expect. XRP, eating the microphone. Exactly what I would expect out of XRP in the bull run, with lower targets as well as more speculative targets. But I just want to be very clear. I'm not one of those people that think it's going to $100. Not even close. I think that's impossible, right? At least as of right now. 10K definitely impossible. So you know, between $3 and $5, let's get there first before we start looking at those higher targets. Not impossible. Like there are some higher targets in that video, right? We look at $15. But you know, I am interested in getting realistic price targets that are likely to get hit, not speculative price targets that just get clicks and then price never gets there, right? I want you guys to actually make money. I don't just want to like come up here and put on a facade to get clicks. But here's the thing, right? XRP, you know, every time we get these big pumps, they get faded heavy, right? Massive push to the upside, huge nuke right back down to where we started and lower, right? You come up and then you make that lower low. And then you get another pump up and then you come back down, right? So every time this thing gets a little bit of news and it tries to pump, it just gets squeezed back to the downside. So I do hold XRP. I hold a lot of it. It's one of my bigger bags, to be quite honest with you. It's not my biggest bag, but it's one of my bigger bags. But I just have so much of it that I'm just not looking to buy more because at some point, like this thing is not doing anything. So I've already got a big enough bag. There's no reason for me to load up anymore. But I will say this, right? Cardano does not have any issues with the SEC right now, right? XRP kind of does, I guess. Not really. I mean, it's kind of up in the air. So, you know, to answer, which one is the better investment? Very hard to say because XRP can like get some crazy bullish news, go absolutely ballistic. Maybe the banks do adopt it and it replaces the traditional banking system, and then it goes higher than anyone ever thought, and then it was like the biggest payout ever, and the XRP army held for a reason, and they got paid for their patience. That could be a scenario that plays out. I'm not willing to risk any more of my money on that. I hold my bag. If it blows and goes crazy, I'll profit off of it. But for me personally, I would rather put more money into Cardano. But again, it's very contextual, brother, right? There's a reason why I'd buy Cardano. It's because I already have a ton of XRP, right? So I feel comfortable with my XRP bag. And I am being, you know, this thing really has not done anything. And I just don't see a reason to put any more money into it. So I would be buying ADA. But if you have no XRP and you don't have any exposure to that asset and you want to open yourself to some potential upside, maybe it's not a bad idea to get some exposure, right? Not financial advice, but that's kind of how I would handle things. So for me, it would be ADA, but not because I think it's a better project or I think it's going to perform better. It's just simply the situation that I'm in. So there you go. And you have to think of that too, Rory. You got to think of the situation you're in because your answer might be completely different than someone else's. And this is where a lot of people get it wrong. People just like to copy each other. Meanwhile, they're all in completely different scenarios, right? So shout out to Rory. Hopefully that helps you out. Holding my bag too, DCA into ADA and Sol. Shout out to Rory. There you go, brother. I'm bullish on all three of those projects, to be quite honest with you. Okay, XRP is dead. Shout out to Mark Shark. Could be possible, right? Could be possible, but I'm not bearish enough on it for me to just sell all my bags. Shout out to Dave Digital said now do some TA on USDT. But yeah, there you go. Shout out to Dave. We'll take a look at USDT in a second, bro. But other than that, XRP just still stuck between these two key levels. Not expecting anything crazy out of this thing until we break that 54, 55 cent level here, which is a value area high. And then if we if we don't break out of this level, it's also a golden pocket. If we don't break out of this level, key level of support is sitting here at 48 cents. This value area actually keeps extending to the right. That's why this was a previous value area we were looking at, so this is the value area we're stuck on. And then if we do wind up breaking out of here, the next target would be this value area low, in my opinion, at 62 cents. And then breaking above that opens up the door to much more upside. So there you go. That is what I'm looking at on XRP. Rory, hopefully that helps you out. Let's see. And then, yeah, shout out to Dave. Wants USDT. Let's take a quick look at it. Let's see. Oh, God. Guys, this thing's going to zero. This is a rare bearish pattern. This is the fuzzy inchworm. This is so if you zoom out, guys, this actually looks like a fuzzy caterpillar. This is actually, they call this, back in TradFi, they used to call this the fuzzy caterpillar of death. So yeah, USDT, yikes, just dangling with $1, guys. Unbelievable. We were all the way up here at $1.03, and now we are barely clinging on to $1. This is, we could see USDT. I'm just kidding, guys. It's supposed to be at $1. Shout out to Dave Digital. But let's continue on here, and let's go ahead and check out. We took a look at Chainlink. We took a look at XRP. I heard Anna Maria wants to see Pyth. Let's go ahead and jump on into it. Take a look at the Binance chart. And here we are. We had some key levels here on Pyth. We had an MPO naked point of control here on the daily at 44 cents. I don't remember exactly where we were when we were looking at these. And then, yeah, your naked point of control here at 54 cents wound up getting flipped to support and giving you that support that you needed to break out, and get these higher prices. Unbelievable. Let's take, let me just make sure. I want to make sure I have the most price history I can possibly get here. Looks like this is probably our best bet. So here's the thing. Shout out to Anne Maria. I assume you are holding this, and I assume you are in profit. So congratulations. Shout out to Mike Fu says, pump that BTC. Let's go. But taking a look here, I will be quite honest with you, Anne Maria. This is going to be hard to find our next levels on, simply put, because we don't really have, I mean, your next month, that's a 5 hour. Let's go to the monthly. Yeah, we have, like, no real levels to look at here. Yeah, I mean, we're above this at this point. I actually would take this level as a very important support level if we do wind up, when we do wind up getting a move back down. On Pyth, this is sitting at 54.42. This is going to be a level to watch. This is a monthly naked point of control. A daily naked point of control, a.k.a. a very strong level that won't only act as a magnet, but will likely act as strong support and resistance as you interact with it. Let's come off bar replay mode so we can get back to our current price action. And you can see, yeah, that was the daily MPOC that we were looking to flip to support before getting that move up. But other than that, I mean, this thing is essentially, you have this giant wick up here, but essentially this thing is in price discovery, right? So very hard to kind of call where this thing is going to go next. The only thing I'd really be able to do for you is find support levels, right? So, and again, in my opinion, the next significant support levels are, this is actually not a naked point of control anymore. This is a tapped naked point of control. So I would actually just make this a level, just a regular level of support. But you have a naked daily here. You have a naked daily here. So these are going to be your key levels to the downside, Anna Maria. Again, very hard to find the levels to the upside, but these are going to be your key levels, right? You are just marching your way up here. So if we do cool off, I would definitely be watching these levels as potential support areas. And we'll take a look at Market Cipher in just a second. But these are kind of the next support zones I would look at if you do get a pullback on Pyth. This right here, you have Confluent on your Golden Pocket daily naked point of control. And then I would also look at this Golden Pocket, which is also coincidentally in confluence with your Golden Pocket, or I'm sorry, with your daily naked point of control. So these are the two zones to the downside that I would be looking at. But other than that, very, very hard to give you any other kind of sound analysis here. Pulling up Market Cipher, we can analyze. I mean, even on some of these higher time frames, there is no information to look at as far as Market Cipher goes. Coming onto the daily, fresh money flow crossover into the green. But again, you want to take it with a grain of salt with such little price history. Take a look at the 4 hour. Red dot confirmed. 1 hour. Bear divs confirmed. Yeah, I would be sitting out on this as far as trades as of right now. We're kind of just marching up. I would much rather see some consolidation, some bing-bonging back and forth to get some context into where price will likely go next, and then look for the longs at the lows or the shorts at the high of the range, which you do kind of have here if you go down to a lower time frame, right? You have this kind of wonked out range, and this would probably be the levels locally, Anna Maria, that I would be looking at, right? Pull up the box, bada boom, change this to neutral, bada boom, get our horizontal raise, value area high, POC, value area low. Come on. Give me the line. There we go. Bada boom, bada bing. So there you go. Anna Maria, this is what I would be looking at for context, right? So pull from the high to the low. And then, yeah, you got a nice confluence here on your 786 golden pocket. Boom. So that's your big level of resistance. If you don't reject that POC, I would look for a move to the high of the range before looking for some potential short positions. If you flip that 786 at 67 cents, that's where I would expect bigger moves to the upside. All right, let's see. Maybe a Band-Aid said, Frankie, hit me with some Wi-Fi love. Let's see. Maybe a Band-Aid. Let's check it out. Wi-Fi. Let's go ahead and bounce. How long have we been here? Okay, cool. We are going to wrap this one up. Not just yet, but let's go ahead and take a look at Wi-Fi. Let's zoom out. Let's take a look at the daily. I don't know what any of these. Okay, bounce off the support zone. Not too shabby. Wi-Fi, just to be quite honest with you, maybe a Band-Aid. If you are bullish on this project, this is one of the few altcoins still in its bear market accumulation zone, which, again, if you're bullish on this, if you are bullish, shout out to Anna Maria, of course, anytime. Shout out to King Cray. King, I can't see that last part, but shout out to King, says, tell me if Cosmos is dead. I definitely don't think Cosmos is dead. I am actually very bullish on Cosmos and just interoperability as a whole in the next bull run. But yeah, we could take a look at Cosmos as well. But let's go ahead and continue on here. So this is still in the bear market accumulation zone, which is kind of nice if you're bullish on this project. And with that being said, I would look at these as your major key levels. So I would pull your fib from this swing high all the way to the current higher low that you have here. Kind of a useless level at this point, to be quite honest with you. Come down to a lower time frame. Yeah, I mean, definitely going to be an important level when you come up to it, but you are still very, very far away. So that's not really going to help you too much in this specific scenario. I bet you this golden pocket has confluence on the POC. Bada boom, it does. So your next key level of resistance, maybe a Band-Aid, is going to be, in my opinion, this POC golden pocket retracement, right, from the high to the low. So if you come up here, I would expect some resistance, but really, you got to break out of this value area high to see any kind of significant upside. You can see every time we crack this level, we do get some kind of a breakout. Bada boom, big move to the upside. Boom, you get a big, big move up. So this is, to be honest, not really much to look at here. Daily money flow is kind of coming up. VWAP is coming down, though, so yeah, you got your weekly green dot, very similar to a lot of the alts. So let's see where this weekly green dot can bring us. Key level, 95.08. If you break out of that, that's where you could potentially see some bigger upside. Let me clear these levels and pull up the VPVR, see where our volume is sitting. And yeah, you could just see, right? Analyzing all of the price action here, you do, once you break out of that value area high, big fall off on volume, right? With your next high volume node really sitting up here, where you rejected right here. I mean, even right here, pretty decent gap. There's a pretty significant gap here between the value area high and that next high volume node, which is sitting at 14,191. So we get a breakout of the value area high. I would look for that to be your next target. You get above that, I would look for your next target to be closer to about 22,606, and then potentially up to this value area high, which is likely the value area low of this area of balance, if I had to guess. There it is, perfect confluence. So yeah, these are kind of the next major levels I would be looking at. This is how I'd be looking at Wi-Fi, maybe a Band-Aid, and hopefully that helps you out. Shout out to Solta. Thank you for that super chat. Says, Neogas, please. Great TA. Shout out to Solta. I appreciate you. Neogas, let me see. What is Neogas? Is it Neo? N-E-O? Yeah, I guess so. Right here. I'm actually not familiar with this, so I do want to point this out. Hopefully I'm looking at the right chart. But shout out to Solta. Thank you for that super chat. I do just want to point out, guys, super chats don't guarantee we look at the coin. Sometimes we're able to get to it, but I just don't want anyone sending super chats and then getting upset that we don't look at their coin. Doesn't guarantee anything. Surely they are easier to see, those super chats, but I don't want anyone, getting upset. But shout out to Solta. We do have time to take a look at this, so I will kind of see here, see what we could do. So very interestingly, just like that kind of bear market accumulation range I was looking at on Wi-Fi, you could see very similarly to a lot of the other altcoins, these ranges have been broken, right? And we always talked about, not only on Bitcoin, but a lot of the altcoins, that weekly money flow in the red is typically a good sign to be accumulating in a bear market, right? When you enter into a bear market and you get the red money flow crossover on the weekly, this is historically usually the best time to be picking up the assets at a discount. And then right here, what happens? You break that value area high, big move. You actually ignored, for the most part, this high volume node here, smashed right through it. You just disrespected all of this and just absolutely spit in the face of the bears and completely yoinked to the upside. And then cooled off, and we are now dancing on this high volume node. So to be quite honest with you, Solta, this is going to be a very, very key level of support, right? If we pull this from the low to the high, which is kind of wonked out, to be honest, because of that little, because of this giant wick. But what I would look at is this high volume node right here. I'm going to pull this level just directly from the volume here. This is going to be kind of a big zone that you want to hold, right? Because if you could stay above this level of support, which is this very high volume node, the next likely stop is going to be this value area high sitting at $8.55. And then once you break out of that value area high decisively, not much volume holding you back, right? And typically when you have these low volume areas, this is where you see the big moves to the upside like we got right here. So, yeah, and if you hold this level and get a little bit of a bounce, could even get a quick move through this low volume gap to this next high volume node / value area high at $8.41. And then this is your key level that you really want to, build some nice support above and then get your next big move to the upside, which likely once you, get your next big move through this low volume gap, that's a high chance of entering price discovery, which could get really exciting. And then your weekly, very similar to a lot of the other alts, is about to print a green dot. So, guys, with all that being said, that is gas USDT. Hopefully that was the right thing. But let me see. Just type gas. Yeah, I assume that is. I think that was the right thing. Let's see. Gas. Yeah, I believe that was the right thing. But, guys, with all that being said, thank you all for tuning in to today's morning surprise emergency Mafia meeting as Bitcoin breaks that $50,000 level, guys. So watch that daily red dot for a potential pullback. But now you guys have those next key levels to the upside on Bitcoin that you should be keeping your eye on if we get that continued move up. And not only that, but you guys have those key levels to the downside as well. So with all that being said, Mafia, I got some videos to record, so stay tuned for those. But I'll see you guys tonight, same place, same time, or same place, at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to the Mafia. Thank you all for being here. Tony, drop another 50 memberships on the Mafia while we tune out here. That's all I got. I'll see you guys next time. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.
Here we go. At the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Hey, on the road, here we go. Yeah, at the top of the class on a roll. Hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Yeah, on the road, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, hey, on a roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, hey, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out,